I read a comment. I blocked this person too because they were making a comparison of like, it's a dumb comparison to say this, right? And they were saying like, oh, why are you so passionate about stuff? It's like, do you think you should speak on stuff like this? It's not even your culture. I was like, well, hold on a second. Let me just kind of put this in perspective. And this might not apply to you, but this applies to me for sure, right? I always talk about how I grew up, the people that I've been around, the way that I speak. I think the hard part, and I'm not speaking as a black male. I'm saying this as an Asian American man, a person of color too, just on a different spectrum. It's annoying for even me when I see this, right? Hip hop culture, jazz, pop culture, all this other stuff. You could see where this source comes from, right? Everything that's hip and cool actually comes from a lot of black culture that a lot of people imitate, right? They take. Here's how the problem is, and this is where I see it. This is how I see it, right? How can you sit there every day? Sometimes these people's brands, their music, everything that they do, their image, how they speak, how they talk, all comes from this black culture. They steal and they take that shit and they're cool with it. But the moment that you have to speak up on stuff that's affecting that culture, you go, hey, I'm not black. It's not my business.
Right.
How fucking terrible is that?
I mean, cultural appropriation, right?
Yeah. It's like you take and take and take. But when it's time for you to give back to a culture that has given you so much, you're just like, it's none of my business.
Right.
So that's why if you hear people say like, you hear this anger and also this annoyance with people where they say like, well, are you an ally? Well, actually, I'm not really big on that term, but I guess I'm just going to use it in this sense. They go, are you an ally or not? And I think that comes from a lot of frustration of it's like, yo, you fucking steal from black culture all the time and we're cool with it, right? But now we're getting fucked over and you see that shit and you're okay with it and you just want to be quiet about it because you're not black.
Yeah.
But you've benefited so much from this shit. And the crazy thing is that you have to understand like a lot of this like cool stuff that you see in black culture also stemmed from their oppression. They took their fucking lemons and they made lemonade out of it. And with that lemonade, we didn't have to deal with the sour lemons. We just took the fucking lemonade.
Right.
And now we're cool just drinking that shit to ourselves all the fucking time without lending help when they need it the most. That's why for someone like me, because I grew up in black culture, even the way that I speak, the way that I, the way that I think, the music that I enjoy stems a lot from black American culture. So for me, it does affect me, right? It does hurt when I see a black male having a fucking knee to the back of his neck. It sucks when I see Eric Garner for selling cigarettes on the side of a corner, getting choked out and killed. It sucks when I see Ahmaud jogging and he gets murdered. It's terrible for me because if I don't say stuff like this, right, which I technically, I don't have to, but I feel like I do need to because I am somebody who partook in taking the positives from this culture. So when this culture needs help, I got to say something,
Yeah. I mean, and the sad thing about it is situations like this always almost inevitably becomes political, right? If you are showing compassion, you're getting called a far left libtard, right? Yeah. And if you're justifying, the act of the cops, then you're a nut job right wing, right? It's not about politics about this. It doesn't matter whether you're a fucking Democrat, liberal, a Republican. Like, it's about human compassion. It's just about being a human being, and you do not, your political affiliation has no effect on you being able to show compassion, right? Problem is though, and we touched up on this on previous podcasts, is that right now in this country, man, a certain group of people are empowered, and these groups of people, let's just say, aren't necessarily fighters of equality. They're not exactly people of justice, only justice when it's convenient for them, not equal justice, right? And it's like, why does a situation like this have to be so divisive? Again, why can't we start at the core issue, which is a human being died? Right. And let's at least have the conversation from that point on. But people now are just so quick to be like, oh, you have just a libtard mindset. You have the, it's strange to think about too, because it's like the fact that you're showing compassion makes you a libtard.
Yeah. It's so odd, right?
Yeah.
People kind of they put their political agenda in this type of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's true. Like, I do agree with you. Let's start with the human side, right? And we're even, like, I'll even bring it up like this, where, yeah, man, I was so disappointed when that Asian dude was there. I was like, oh, Asian cop. Oh, God damn it. God, no! And his name was like Tu Tao or Tao To. Right? And he had like the most Asian name ever, man. I was like, damn, I wish his name was like Keith Powers or some shit. You know what I mean? It's like, nah, man, he's white. He just looks Asian.
Yeah.
But this dude had the most fucking Asian name ever, dude.
Yeah.
Tao To Tu.
Yeah.
And so this motherfucker, I think this is why I've been trying to get a cop to come on here, right? Mm-hmm. Not because I wanted to attack them. I just want to know what protocol is, not so I can protect myself, but I want to know what it's like to be a cop in those type of